If you're looking for a place to buy or sell your FIFA 23 Ultimate Team coins, check out u4gm.com as a reliable place to do so and use code ELYT, E-L-Y-Y-T, for 5% off at checkout. This video is a little bit late this morning and I apologize for that. I have two good excuses. The first one is the fact that my internet upload speed is like I live in the middle of an Arctic wasteland. Instead, I actually just live in Ohio. And the second reason is that I just started Ted Lasso, and once I started watching it, I had to finish the first season. So that's what I've been doing for the past like 7 hours. It is 5 a.m. and I am just now starting to record today's video, so I can't wait to spend the next 4 hours and go to sleep at 9:30 a.m. But nonetheless, we are here, and if you respect the grind, don't forget to drop a like on today's video. Today, we're talking about FUT Future Stars Team 2 in FIFA 23 Ultimate Team. You can tell it's late. And we've got some really spicy cards on this team. I think it'll actually be a big step up from the first team. Yeah, we had players like Mudryk, we had players like Julian Alvarez, and we did have a really good Sunday release with Cherky, but overall, it was kind of meh. It was a nice little bridging the gap between Team of the Year and whatever's coming next, but from the leaks that we've got so far, there are going to be several more very expensive cards in FUT Future Stars Team number 2 that I'm excited to share with you guys. But the main point of today's video is I want to talk about which of these cards are probably going to see a big rise from their lowest point later today into the night. Because in the last video where we talked about how to get over 5 million coins, which a lot of you guys sent to me on Twitter, you didn't click on the video because it was clickbait. It's not. That video literally explains exactly what's in the title, and one of those trading methods I'm going to be demonstrating in today's video as well. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. First of all, let's go ahead and pull up some of these cards that we have in Team number 2. And the first card on our list is Badiashile. I do not think I'm pronouncing that correctly. He's actually had a pretty good first couple of games with Chelsea, holding a couple of clean sheets, and alongside Thiago Silva, they seem like a very good duo. And the card looks good, but it doesn't look ridiculously beyond anything we've seen, even for French center backs, even for French center backs in the Premier League. But what we have seen is that those French Premier League center backs are always good out of packs, and they're always pretty expensive, like Raphael Varane, for example. So that's a card that maybe is going to be a good long-term investment, but I don't think it's going to be a card that I trade with today. Next up, we've got Enzo Fernandez, and this is going to be a card that I do think will be a good flip. If you're more in a medium budget, it's going to be a card that we're looking at probably between 600,000 coins and maybe 1.1 million on the first day. Of course, that's going to change throughout the week, and you don't want to hold any of these cards past day 1 into day 2's content, which is Saturday. You've got to sell whatever you get on day 1 into the night and make sure it sells. You do not want to get into a disaster where some of these cards drop. If we take a look over on FUTBin, on like Julian Alvarez's card, we discussed how these cards can go up in the first day, but how they really drop on day number 2. Now, Alvarez is a very extreme example of this. It doesn't normally happen this badly, but take a look at day 1 to day 2. If you bought, which I did, buy at around 2.1 million coins and then sell for 2.26 million coins, we ended up making like 40K. It wasn't as much profit as previous weeks. It definitely wasn't, but we ended up making profit. And even if you didn't sell at the peak, you still got your coins back as long as you sold during the allotted time slots, which is anytime before around, I would say, about 8 a.m. UK, 9 a.m. UK. You'll want to have those cards probably gone by then, because as you can see, as we get closer to content on the next day, the cards crash in price. And that card went from 2.1 million coins all the way to about 1.5 million in just a few hours. Now, it's not going to happen like this again. There will be a drop. It won't be that extreme, but it's definitely something that you have to keep in mind when you're investing in some of these cards. There is profit to be made on on day one, but it definitely is not worth holding those cards longer than you need to. Next up, we've got a couple more big cards. This is the highest rated one we have yet, which is 92 rated Jamal Musiala from Bayern Munich. Now, Bundesliga hasn't been really targeted as a meta at all this year. We've seen Premier League, of course, the Premier League tax shows it, always is going to have demand. And then we saw a lot of Ligue 1. We've even seen Serie A squads get targeted a little bit this year, but Bundesliga not quite yet. Is there going to be anytime soon where there's a lot of SBC content that is targeted towards good Bundesliga players? Or is this a year where EA just ignores the German league? Possibly, but that also means that Musiala is going to be a card that probably is on the cheaper end in comparison to other 92 rated cards that we've seen in the last couple of promos. This 92 rated card, it's good, it's usable, but it's not anything spectacular. So you're going to be looking at probably a range of 400,000 coins, 500,000 coins if I had to guess. But long term, if Bundesliga starts getting more content in SBCs and objectives, it could be a card that rises out of packs as well. I think that I'm not going to be trading with this card on day number one. Next up, we've got Kvaratskhelia. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I think that was somewhat close, but it's obviously a card that people have wanted all year. The guy is tearing it up in Serie A. He's one of the main future stars that everybody's been excited for, and he hasn't had any special cards this year. I think there's going to be a lot of hype for him on day one. I think that if you invest in him on day one, you are going to make some good profit. It's all about finding that timing, though. Is it going to be cheaper after hour one, after hour two, or is it going to be cheaper later in the day? Maybe, let's say 8 hours or maybe 6 or 7 hours after content. And in my opinion, I think it'll be 6 or 7 hours after content, maybe 8 hours after content, somewhere in that range where we're going to see the cheapest prices on day one. So to put that in perspective, I'm talking about 8 p.m. Eastern Standard, 1 a.m. UK time. That is kind of where I'm guessing the cheapest prices will be today on these cards and where you want to buy. And then you'll probably want to sell about 4 to 5 hours after that and make some profit. So that is the idea, and Kvaratskhelia, I think, is going to be a good card to do that with. Next up, we've got Tyrell Malacia, and it's a left-back card from Premier League. Now, if we look at Andrew Robertson, it's a good card to kind of compare it to because both of these guys are left-backs in the Premier League. Andrew Robertson. I actually packed this Andrew Robertson Winter Wild card. And as you can see, ever since it came out of packs, and of course, you've got a little bit of a boost from the team of the year, buying power. Everybody's got more coins to spend, so it's going to rise in price. But you can see it was about 270K in packs. Andrew Robertson now over 400,000 coins. Out of packs, these cards seem to have done pretty well. So Premier League left backs, if we use this as any indication, it's probably going to be a great card to invest in out of packs. Tyrell Malacia is. Now, if you guys have any doubts about that investment, I do want to compare it to right back cards that we saw recently, including Cancelo, who's also a left back. But let's go ahead and compare Cancelo, who can play right back or left back, to Trent Alexander-Arnold. This card, also more recent, just got released about 2 weeks ago and has risen from 380K all the way up to nearly 500,000 coins in just those 2 weeks. So that card has done really well out of packs. And we see that Trent Alexander-Arnold is another fullback from the Premier League who has also done very well out of packs, coming out at the beginning of January during FUT Centurions, going down to around 180 during his time in packs. Of course, the cheapest point for these cards while they're in packs is either going to be on Monday or it's going to be on Thursday. It's either one of the two, and you kind of have to guess sometimes. You definitely are going to have an idea. Maybe it's just too low on Monday. There's no way it gets this low on Thursday. But for all these new promo cards, they hit a low point after the weekend. People selling off from weekend league teams. people opening weekend league rewards and just getting more supply onto the market. So they're always low Sunday night, Monday, and then they rise up on Tuesday and Wednesday. And then on Thursday, you get another supply batch coming in from marquee matchups, a little bit of panic selling from everybody who bought on Monday. And sometimes they get low again on those days. And if we take a look at the first team, and maybe we look at Vitinha, who's the card that I have invested in for out of packs. Vitinha right now at 280K. If we take a look at his graph, it will follow that exact trend that I pointed out. Friday, obviously most expensive, then Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Drops down at the end of the weekend, rises up a little bit on Tuesday and Wednesday, drops down again on Thursday, and then should rise out of packs pretty consistently, especially given that PSG badge there. Now, if you're late to the investment, I think there's still plenty of time to get a good deal on him. I think that the best deals were around 270K, 268K on Thursday. You could have gotten him pretty easily for 270 and Snipes for 260, but still not a bad price right now. So if you guys want to get in on some investments for the previous team, for team one, it is still a decent time to go out of pack investing. But if you did miss the last episode of our trading, you are a little bit late to the party. So make sure to turn on those notifications so you don't miss out in the end. And if you want to make sure that you're timing it right, and of course I'm no expert completely, I can be wrong, but you can follow me on Twitter. I will tweet out whenever I buy any of these cards from the next team for FUT Future Stars. So today I'm going to be trading with you guys. I'm going to be pulling the trigger on some of these cards, buying them up, whatever, looks good to me. I'll buy it and I will immediately post it to Twitter so that you guys can see and you can tell if you trust me. But just know that I can lose coins too. I've been known to make a mistake from time to time. So just know that I am not perfect and you're not guaranteed coins. It's like, when you're looking at stocks, it's the same thing. You get somebody who you think who knows the market and you kind of trust them. That's one way to do it. But for me, I would definitely prefer you guys to make your own decisions, kind of come to your own conclusions and learn about trading, because although I will offer you guys cards that I invest in and I'll tell you what I'm investing in, I'll give you specific cards, in the end, this channel is about helping you guys learn how to trade so that you don't have to buy FIFA points and so you don't have to spend your real life money. So you can save that money for yourself and nobody else and make coins elsewhere, which is the transfer market. Next up, we've got Fabio Carvalho, and this was a card that was leaked to come in an SBC last week, but it ended up being Fabio Vieira. The leak was wrong, and now he's coming out in team number 2 as a tradable card. This won't be an SBC, so I want to be clear about that. Another great Portuguese card. We've had a lot of Portuguese content in the last couple of weeks, and just in FIFA 23 in general. Can't say that Portugal doesn't deserve it. There's a lot of young talent, a lot of talent in general, and Carvalho's another one of those guys. We already sold out Carlos Vela, and I'll talk about him in a second, but we also have a leaked Jovetic SBC, and the only investment that I can think of that really links to Jovetic is going to be Kevin Prince Boateng. This card from Hertha Berlin is now 30,000 coins, and over the course of the past week or so, he has been about 27,000 coins. I would say that this investment isn't going to rise a ton. You might make a couple K on it, but it is risky because I don't think that this Jovetic SBC, unless they really juice it beyond what we think they are going to juice it to and make it a really good card and a really good value SBC, I don't see a lot of people changing their teams around for Jovetic. As I said, we haven't had a lot of Bundesliga content, and so a lot of people don't have too much Bundesliga cards in their team, other than maybe that flashback Mane card during Team of the Year. That's probably the most common Bundesliga card in people's teams right now. Jovetic doesn't really link. Montenegro is tough to link. They really just have Mirosic, the left back from the Serie A, and then obviously Kevin Prince Boateng as a link to Hertha Berlin. I don't think a lot of people are going to throw this in their starting 11, but we could see a little bit of a rise for Boateng. I'd say it's a little bit risky. Then we've got Thuram. This is an SBC that people will definitely do. Now, if you guys remember, we had Bellegarde during Winter Wildcards. Bellegarde was a center mid from France in Ligue 1, and the stats looked awfully similar as well. So it's going to be like a repeat of that, and I think a lot of people regretted not doing Bellegarde's SBC. If you were one of them, you've got another opportunity to do it with Thuram. It's going to come as a squad building challenge here shortly. And one thing that a lot of people have been going out and doing is trying to find OGC Nice links. And I'll be honest with you guys, while I do think that OGC Nice links will rise a little bit, I think generally just Ligue 1 cards, Ligue 1 French cards are going to go up just gradually over time once this SBC comes out, and probably already due to the leak. So you're looking at Lacazette Winter Wildcard. You're looking at, man, my mind actually can't think of any others off the top of my head. But one way that I can actually find some more cards is I'm going to go ahead and throw Thuram into this squad builder. We'll go ahead and slap him there. And then what we can do is we can click on the light bulb here on Futbin, and it'll just tell me examples of cards that'll link to it. And that way I can make a decision on what I want to invest in. So Cherky, that's another one. Yes, so from the current team, if you want to invest out of pack investing, more of a medium to high budget card at 576K, I think that card could definitely rise because of Thuram. So this Cherky card, as long as it's not replacing Cherky, this Thuram looks more of a center defensive mid anyway, center mid, and Cherky looks more of an attacking player, so I don't think they'll overlap. I think that Cherky could be a decent investment right there. If we take a look at right wing, we can see Laborde doesn't look good. I would not invest in that. Barkley, is that a tradable card? Let's see if Barkley's a tradable card or an SBC. It was an SBC, so we can't invest in that. Let's see about right back. Klaus is untradeable. Goalkeeper. Kasper Schmeichel could maybe see a little bit of movement there, and it's not risky to pick up a Kasper Schmeichel because he really can't drop much being an 85 rated inform. Then at center back, you've got, Icon Blanc, and I would definitely see a little bit of movement there, but I don't think it's going to be enough to make that kind of investment. Kimpembe maybe a little bit more so. That Kimpembe card could rise and probably already has been rising over the course of the last couple weeks. And then Klaus as a left back possibly could see a little bit of movement. But overall, I think Cherky is probably my favorite because you're investing in him as an out-of-pack investment, and then you're also investing him for a complement link. So combining both of those two could be very, very good. Let's see if there's any other content here. We do have one more card as an SBC, and then I also have one more card that's coming into packs that I have to show you. And this one is De Ketelaere. So this card being Belgian and being from AC Milan, it's more content for Serie A. So you're going to see generally cards like Tomori are going to rise again because of that Milan link. Tomori is obviously a very meta center back in Serie A, but there is actually a hyperlink to this, which means that there's a striker, not a striker, but there is an AC Milan and Belgian link that could end up working out, and his name is Saelemaekers. So Saelemaekers is a Belgian from Milan, and he has a FUT Centurions card that actually does look quite usable. It's a right wing card. It is 90 pace, 89 dribbling, 80 shooting, 85 passing, and he has 4-star as well. And the card is only 25K. If we take a look at what his price has been for the last few days before the leak, you can see when he got leaked, but he was about 23,000, 22,000 coins. So he's up about 2 to 3K due to the leak, but he actually rose up to 27K. And since that SBC has not released yet, and we're still waiting on it, he's actually come back down again. And I think it's a good investment. To be honest with you, I think that is a really good low budget investment. Everybody can afford a couple of them at least. If you're watching my videos and this is your first video, maybe not. But if you guys have been watching my videos and you don't have enough to invest in maybe one or two of these, then I don't know what you're doing. Because I think that is a safer investment. The lowest he could go is down to, back down to probably about 21,000 coins. I think that's the risk you're taking if one, the SBC never drops, or two, the SBC ends up being terrible value and nobody wants to do it. But it's just a perfect link. And that's not too common to see a perfect link on a card that's still there, I think still keeps up with the power curve. I'm not saying Saelemaekers is, beyond the power curve, but it keeps up. It's definitely a usable card with 4-star, and those stats. And for that price, it does look good to me. And then we've got one more card that is the most recent leaked card is Timber. So you guys might be wondering, well, Timber already came out. It's been out. This Timber card got his card already in an SBC, but that was Quinton Timber. It's a different Timber, and I didn't know that there were two different Timbers until I saw this tweet, because this is Jurriën Timber. He's also a Dutch center back. And so it confused me a lot, and I feel like I've been packing them all year thinking that they were the same guy, but they're not. They're brothers. So they're twin brothers. I guess that, kind of explains it. I did think they were the same person. So they are both getting a FUT Future Star, and this one's going to be Impact. So it's not going to be an SBC like his brother Quinton was, but the card looks disgusting if you can fit him in your team. And of course, we all got that Player of the Month Netherlands 86 rated card that can link them up. So if you still have that card and haven't submitted it into an SBC, then you might be able to make a decent, triangle of Netherlands and Eredivisie cards that are actually usable, and this center back actually looks very, very, very good. So those are all of the new leaked cards for FUT Future Stars Team number 2, and so there's a lot of different investments that you guys can make with these cards. That's going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching until the end, and if you made it to the end of the video, comment below Ted Lasso. That'll be your secret comment word of the day, and I appreciate you making it to the end of the video. If it helped you out at all, make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, turn on those notifications so you don't miss out on any of these investments, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.